Imagine you are standing at the bottom of a massive, vertical stone wall. It stretches up hundreds of feet into the sky. You can see the top. It's bright, it's sunny, and the people up there look relaxed. They look free. You want to be up there more than anything in the world. So, you do what you've been taught to do. You jump. You run at the wall, you leap as high as you can, you scratch at the smooth stone, and you fall back down. You try again. You work harder. You jump with more intensity. But gravity wins every time. This is exactly how most people approach their financial lives. They see wealth as a destination that is separated from them by an impossible vertical leap. They try to jump from a $10 an hour job straight to being a millionaire. They buy lottery tickets, they gamble on volatile crypto coins, or they join get-rich-quick schemes. They are trying to defy the laws of physics. And when they inevitably fall back to the bottom, they become bitter. They assume the game is rigged. They assume the people at the top were just born with wings. But wealth isn't a vertical jump. It is a construction project. And the tool you need isn't a jetpack. It's a ladder. I'm Mark Fletcher. Welcome back to the Money Sprint. Today, we aren't just talking about making more money. We are talking about structural engineering for your life. We are going to break down the income ladder. This ladder has 5 distinct rungs. Most people spend their entire lives clinging to rung 1, terrified to let go. Some make it to rung 2 and get comfortable. Very few ever understand the mechanics of rung 3. In this video, I am going to give you the blueprints. We are going to dissect the math, the mindset, and the specific sprints required to move from one rung to the next. Whether you are currently struggling to pay your rent or you are stuck in a comfortable middle-class plateau, this is your roadmap to the top of the wall. Let's start at the bottom. Rung number 1. We call this the survival rung. This is where 90% of the population lives. This is the world of the employee. The math of rung 1 is brutally simple. Income equals time multiplied by rate. If you work at a coffee shop for $15 an hour and you work 40 hours a week, the math dictates your life. You cannot make more money unless you trade more life. But there is a fatal flaw in this equation. Time is finite. You only have 24 hours in a day. Even if you never slept, never ate, and never saw your family, your income has a hard mathematical ceiling. The danger of rung 1 isn't that it pays poorly. Some people on rung 1 make 6 figures as doctors or lawyers. The danger is that the income stops the moment you stop moving. If you break your leg, if you get sick, or if you just want to take a month off to breathe, the money cuts off like a light switch. You are the engine. If the engine idles, the car stops. However, I want to be clear. Rung 1 is not bad. In fact, it is essential. You cannot build a ladder without a stable base. Rung 1 is your seed generator. The biggest mistake I see young people make is they hate their job so much that they quit before they have built the next rung. They try to leap to entrepreneurship with $0 in the bank. That is financial suicide. The goal of rung 1 is to create a surplus. You need to live on less than you earn so that you can buy your way onto rung 2. If you make $3,000 a month and you spend $3,000 a month, you are not on a ladder. You are on a treadmill. You are running just to stay in the same place. To escape rung 1, you must become a financial ascetic for a short period. You have to embrace the sprint. You cut the subscriptions, you cook at home, you drive the old car. You do whatever it takes to squeeze a few $100s of freedom capital out of your paycheck. because that capital is the wood and nails for the next rung. Once you have your seed money and your survival is secured, you reach up to rung number 2, the high-value skill. This is the first major shift in your financial DNA. On rung 1, you are paid for your presence. On rung 2, you are paid for your performance. A high-value skill is something that solves a specific, expensive problem for a business or an individual. Moving boxes in a warehouse is a rung 1 activity because almost anyone can do it. Designing the logistics software that tells the warehouse where to put the boxes? That is rung 2. In the age of AI, rung 2 is more accessible than ever before. Skills that used to take years to master, like coding, graphic design, data analysis, or copywriting, can now be accelerated with artificial intelligence. Let's look at a concrete example. Imagine a guy named Dave. Dave works in customer service answering phones. That's rung 1. He gets paid for every hour he sits in the chair. Now imagine Dave spends his evenings learning AI automation. He learns how to build chatbots that can answer 80% of customer questions automatically. He approaches a small business owner and says, "I can install a system that will save you 20 hours of work a week. I charge a flat fee of $2,000 to build it." Dave builds it in a weekend using his new skill. He just made $2,000 in 2 days. But more importantly, he decoupled his time from his money. The business owner didn't ask, "How many hours did this take you?" The business owner asked, "Did this solve my problem?" When you are on rung 2, you stop thinking in hourly rates and you start thinking in project fees. You become a sniper, not a soldier. You are hired for a specific mission, you execute it, you get paid, and you move on. But here is the trap of rung 2. You are still the operator. If Dave stops building bots, Dave stops getting paid. He has higher income and he has more control, but he is still trading his effort for cash. He is simply trading it at a much better exchange rate. To truly break free from gravity, we have to move to the rung that confuses the most people. The rung where the work happens once, but the money happens forever. Welcome to rung number 3, Scalable Systems. This is the hardest jump to make. It requires a complete rewiring of your brain. On rungs 1 and 2, the feedback loop is fast. You do the work, you get the check. It's linear, it feels safe. On rung 3, you enter the valley of delayed gratification. Rung 3 is the world of products, media, and software. This is create once, sell twice. Or in our case, create once, sell 10,000 times. Let's go back to Dave. Dave is tired of building chatbots one by one for clients. So Dave decides to record a series of videos showing other people how to build chatbots. He packages it into a digital course. He writes an ebook, or he starts a faceless YouTube channel, teaching the skill. Dave spends 3 months building the system. During those 3 months, he makes $0. In fact, he might be losing money on software fees. His friends on rung 1 tell him he is wasting his time. They say, "Why are you working for free? Go pick up an extra shift at the warehouse." But Dave isn't working for free. Dave is building an engine. Once the course is launched or the channel is monetized, something magical happens. Dave is asleep in bed, and his phone buzzes. He just sold a course for $100. He wakes up, makes coffee, and the phone buzzes again. 2 more sales. Dave did the work in January, but he is getting paid in March, April, May, and December. He has disconnected the relationship between today's effort and today's income. This is the definition of scalability. Whether one person buys the course or 1 million people buy the course, Dave's effort is exactly the same. This is where the sprint truly happens. If you can build a Rung 3 asset that covers your basic living expenses, you have achieved what I call velocity escape. You no longer need to work to survive. But most people never get here because they can't handle the silence. They can't handle the 3 months of working without a paycheck. They quit 3 feet from gold and run back to the safety of Rung 1. To win the money sprint, you have to be willing to be misunderstood for a long period of time. You have to be willing to build the engine in the dark so you can drive it in the light. Now, let's assume you've done it. You have your Rung 1 job, or maybe you quit it. You have your Rung 2 high-value skill, and you have a Rung 3 system generating cash. You are making $10, $20, maybe $30,000 a month. What do? If you are like most people, you destroy the latter. You buy a Porsche. You buy a massive house with a massive mortgage. You start flying first class everywhere. You take your capital and you set it on fire. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the enemy of wealth. The smart climber moves to rung number 4, capital ownership. This is where you stop working for money and you stop building systems for money. Instead, you let money work for money. You take the surplus cash from Rung 3 and you buy dollar employees. A dollar employee is a dollar that you invest into an asset, like the stock market, S&P 500, real estate, or private equity. That dollar goes out into the world and works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with no vacation, no sick days, and no complaints. And its only job is to come back to you with friends. The goal of Rung 4 is to reach the crossover point. Take a piece of paper. On the left side, write down your monthly cost of living. Let's say it's $5,000. On the right side, write down the monthly income from your Rung 4 investments, dividends, rent, interest. The day the number on the right is higher than the number on the left, you are financially free. This is different from being rich. There are plenty of rich doctors on Rung 2 who make $500,000 a year but spend $500,000 a year. If they stop working, they go broke in 3 months. They are high income, but they are not free. Rung 4 is about ownership. It's about owning the means of production. You own the apartment complex, so you get the rent. You own the stock, so you get the dividend. The strategy here is boring. It's not flashy. It's consistent. You take the explosive, high-velocity income from your Rung 3 sprints and you park it in slow, boring, safe Rung 4 assets. You use the hare to feed the tortoise, because eventually the hare gets tired. You want the tortoise to be big enough to carry you across the finish line. Finally, we reach the top of the wall. Rung number 5, wealth, velocity, and impact. This is a rung that very few people talk about because very few people reach it. But it is important to know it's there. On Rung 5, money is no longer about survival, and it's no longer even about freedom. You are already free. On Rung 5, money becomes a tool for acceleration and change. This is where you become a venture capitalist. This is where you become a philanthropist. This is where you use your resources to fund other people's sprints. When you are on Rung 5, you have mastered the game. You understand the physics of value so well that you can look at a problem in the world, a dying town, a broken industry, a lack of education, and you can deploy your capital to fix it while making a profit. This is where true legacy is built. You aren't just leaving money to your kids, you are leaving a blueprint. You are leaving a system. But hear me clearly. You cannot start on Rung 5. I see so many people trying to change the world when they can't even pay their own rent. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first. You have to climb the ladder in order. So, where are you? I want you to pause and visualize the ladder. Are you on rung 1, grinding out hours for dollars? Are you on rung 2, leveraging a skill but still stuck in the operator seat? Are you in the messy middle of rung 3, building a system that hasn't paid off yet? Identifying your position is the first step to moving up. If you are on rung 1, stop trying to invest in the stock market. You don't have enough capital yet. Your best investment is education. Invest in a rung 2 skill. Spend your money on books, courses, and tools. If you are on rung 2, stop trying to get more clients. You are maxed out. Your next move is systemization. Invest in recording equipment. Hire an assistant. Build the product. Move to rung 3. If you are on rung 3 and the cash is pouring in, stop trying to look rich. Invest in assets. Fill your rung 4 buckets. The climb requires discipline. It requires you to say no to things that look fun today so you can say yes to anything you want tomorrow. And remember, the most important rule of the ladder: don't look down. Don't look at your past mistakes. Don't look at the debt you used to have. Don't look at the time you wasted. Look up. Look at the next rung. The wall is high, yes, but the ladder is sturdy, and you are stronger than you think. In a world of people waiting for a miracle, be the person who builds a ladder. I'm Mark Fletcher. This is the Money Sprint. Your next rung is waiting. I'll see you at the top.